Good evening, Californios. It's April 12th, 2022. This is Season 2, podcast number 11, and we are Red Star Report. I'm Hal G. Lohr, and this is Voices for the California Nation. This week, our Red Star Report theme is the California National Party. So, let's talk about that. On Sunday, while I was editing video for tonight's show, I was interrupted by a phone call. Seems a very nice lady from the California Democratic Party was very interested in who I was voting for in the 2022 local elections. You got to picture this. I'm working on Red Star Report podcast videos, so I'm kind of grr here. Some poor woman working the phones for the California Democratic Party has called me up to read to me from her prepared script. Just a person trying to do what she thinks is her civic duty, and it's not really her fault. But she gets off on the wrong foot by mispronouncing my last name. Goes something like, "Hello, may I speak to Mr. Harold Loher?" Painful. But I let that go. People have been badly mispronouncing my name since junior high school gym class. So, yeah, it's nothing new. I'm sure she meant well, and she was very polite. But her first question to me is, can the Democratic Party count on your support to back their chosen candidate for mayor and city council? At that point, I said I wasn't sure. I'd have to look into the issue. The basic excuses I make when I really don't want to out myself as a California resistance person and really don't want to give anybody a definitive answer. But she ain't buying it. Without missing a beat, she asked me another obviously scripted question that went, if you don't vote for the Democratic candidate, who else would you vote for? She sounded like it was inconceivable that anyone could hold public office in California without being a Democrat. I have to tell you, that's not good. So tonight, let's talk about the California independence movement and the California National Party. This is Voices for the California Nation. First up, we have the second installment of our edited conclusions series. This one features Florida Senator Rick Scott from the February 26th CPAP address. One of many speeches defining the dangerous direction the U.S. Republican Party is heading in. I gotta say, if you needed a reminder of the need for California independence in the face of just how far down the divisive rabbit hole U.S. federal politics is going to drag California, look no further. That starts now.
Great nations don't automatically last forever. But today we face the greatest danger we have ever faced. The militant left wing in our country has become the enemy within. They want to end the American experiment. They want to replace freedom with control. In their new socialist America, everyone will obey and no one will be allowed to complain. The militant left are the modern-day version of book burners. These are the most narrow-minded, intolerant people our country has ever seen. Socialism leads to two things: poverty and oppression. Yet these Democrats are just acting like they just invented socialism. Let me be clear here. What the militant left is now proposing is evil, and it always results in evil. Is this the beginning of the end of America? That's what I came here to talk about. This week, I released an 11-point plan to rescue America. The plan calls for every child in every school to say the Pledge of Allegiance, stand for the national anthem, and learn that America is the greatest country in this world. The plan says we will treat socialism as a foreign adversary and will use all forces to stop it from destroying this great country. The plan calls for the end to our economic relationship with communist China. The plan also makes some terribly controversial points such as men are men, women are women, there are two genders, the science confirms that unborn babies are human beings. We are going to fully fund the police and teach our kids to respect police because they're the good guys, the criminals are the bad guys. Finally, nations have borders. We will secure our border, we'll build the damn wall, and when we do, we'll name it after President Donald J. Trump. We have no fear for standing up for what is right to rescue this country. We are going to win this fight. America is worth fighting for. The fight to rescue America from socialism is our fight. We must and we will prevail. Thank you.
Yet none dare call it fascism, right? A sitting U.S. senator at a Republican Party policy conference accusing the opposition party of being an enemy of the country. It may be edited, but it doesn't get more real, and more importantly, it gives no hope for any reasonable American outcome for a California future. Think about it. In keeping with tonight's theme, we present some stark contrast to the national. 3, 2, 1. In keeping with tonight's theme, we present some stark contrast to the national two-party narrative with activism in action with Shankar Singam and an interview with Southern California Regional Coordinator for the California National Party, Sean Forbes. All yours, Shankar.
Thank you, Hal. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Activism in Action. And if you've been checking out these episodes, then you know that this is the California independence movement. And the one question everybody's going to be asking is, hey, how can I be involved? What can I do? Where can I go check out more information besides right here on YouTube? Well, today I have Sean Forbes. He is our representative for the California National Party. The California National Party, that is the only political party in the state right now that's representing independent-minded Californians. Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys doing this evening?
Pretty good, my friend. So, just to let everybody clue everybody in, what exactly is the California National Party? How long has it been around? Tell us a little bit more about the party, please.
Well, the party's been around for at least a few years before the 2016 election. The biggest thing was that a lot of people joined up right when Trump got elected. But it was before that. Actually, there was an interesting kind of backstory, and it's a little kind of it would take too much time to get back into. But again, it's been around for a few years, and the California National Party is a big tent party. This is someone, or this is, excuse me, this is an organization that is something that really takes anything from, again, anyone who just wants to see a better government, a clean, non-corrupt government running their affairs. So again, this is not really, I wouldn't put us in the left-right paradigm, even though I would say, to be honest, yes, there's more left-wing people obviously in the party, but we're not in that kind of paradigm. The whole point is having a clean, non-corrupt government.
Yeah, I've noticed that about the California CNP. It's that the spectrum is broad. You're getting everything from libertarians all the way down to socialists there. So, but for folks that don't know, why don't we talk about the party platform so you can see where the party actually lies on specific issues, like what's the California National Party's platform on firearms, for instance?
Well, that's interesting because, again, that really kind of emphasizes the point of the party. The point of the party really is to understand that California is, for all intents and purposes, a nation state. We're huge. California is the fifth largest economy in the world. California is bigger than Canada when it comes to population. So we are trying to make sure that we understand that we are a nation and that the regions and counties need to have a lot more power and actually do enact policy, which right now Democrats don't understand and Republicans are, I don't know where they're at anymore. But again, they're far off into whatever land. So we are trying to make sure that local communities have control much more than they do now. Now, that being said, when it comes to firearms, that's actually kind of the key point. We don't believe, like the Democrats, that there's going to be a kind of blanket, one size fit all policy when it comes to firearms. It has to come down to the counties need to enact their own policies. The counties of California, as they currently exist right now, need to act more like the states of the United States because we are basically a nation. We are a huge country. So Los Angeles County needs to be able to enact the firearm policy that makes sense for Los Angeles County. And the internal counties, or I should say the more western counties, like where Joshua Tree is at, Mammoth, Alpine areas, things like that, they need to have their own policies when it comes to firearms because it's very different. An urban environment versus a rural environment that doesn't have easy access to police, that is, anything between wild animals, just to being like a location that's isolated. They need to be able to have a policy that makes sense when it comes to firearms. Because again, we are huge. We have to emphasize that once more. California is a nation state. It is a big place.
Yeah, yes, it is. It's 40 million huge. That sounds great. What about the next issue? Push button issue. Universal healthcare. Where's the party stand on universal healthcare?
Well, the first point is that, kind of like the Democrats, we do believe that we need to have a universal system that makes sure that lives are protected, and that also if someone gets sick or a family member gets sick, it doesn't ruin people's lives financially. So that's kind of like the start point. That's the base of what we're talking about. Now, the devil's in the details, right? How do we enact this? How do we come about it? All we know right now is that we would probably not adopt an NHS system like what happens in the UK. United Kingdom, it's a little bureaucratic heavy. It's kind of a little bit too convoluted when it comes to how decisions are made between the patient and the doctor and who actually is going to sign off on paying for certain procedures, right? So we would avoid the NHS system, but we don't know if we're going to adopt something like Canada, or again, we're going to adopt something like France, where it's like a nonprofit organization that would come through and then you kind of pay to that and it kind of works together. But we do believe, again, that healthcare is a human right, and healthcare should be something where you're not financially crippled just because you get sick. Life is tough enough as it is, and just to have these mountains of medical bills that happens in the current U.S. system, that's morally wrong.
So my next one, real quick, and this is another touchy one here. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm asking these because it's going to reach a broad swath of people, different-minded people. Immigration, especially undocumented immigration. Where is the party stand on undocumented immigrants and immigration in general?
When it comes to immigration, we have the viewpoint that human beings crossing borders to try to better the lives of themselves and their families are not de facto criminals or de jure criminals right off the bat. So we're not looking to have some kind of police state to try to send people back just because they came from a different area. Now, that being said, we kind of have the viewpoint that it's like allowing someone to your home. You have to have some kind of understanding and screening of who's coming in. But to make the system as it is right now, where it's difficult, where it is imposing danger on people who just want to have a better livelihood, that's actually un-American. That's what California is supposed to be. That's why we want to have an independent California, is actually to be back to the kind of foundation of what the American system was. And in the old days, when you had people come across from Europe, Africa, Asia, especially until like about the early 20th century, there really wasn't like this incredible, difficult system to work through. We kind of were open-armed. Again, like, there would be some kind of cases of discrimination, etc. But really, America actually kind of did not really go out of its way to make it as difficult as it is nowadays. And that's what we want to get back to.
Absolutely. I always say that trying to get an independent California is the most American thing anybody can do, is because it just goes back to what the founders of the United States were trying to do, and for the same reasons too. Another push button topic, and this will be my last one here. So, what in your opinion, in your mind, would you think that how California could earn its place in the globe? Like, what does it need to do to earn its, make its mark? I mean, it's already making its mark in my eyes, but I mean, as far as like, do we need to put heavy duty on our imports, maybe charge the United States more taxes on them, using our ports? I mean, where can we make our mark globally? Do you feel that California can do once independent?
Again, we have to go back to the fact that we basically are a nation. We are large. We are the 5th largest economy in the world, as we're speaking. We have to be a model for other nations. We need to be able to say, look, we're going to get away from fossil fuels that's destroying the planet. Climate change is real. We all know this. The science is in. We accept that. So we have to make sure that, again, we actually enact a true Green New Deal. And one of the ways we can do that, I believe, is that we can actually make sure that the oil companies are kind of wound down and dismissed after a while. Now, that's not going to happen overnight just because the way reality is, but we need to make sure that we can actually turn off some of these systems that are polluting and destroying the planet. And it's also polluting, our hometown, Long Beach, which is the hometown of you and Hal and me. We need to have some kind of system that actually makes sure that it's not about profits anymore. It's about people's lives, and then we can have a greener, better environment. We need to be a model for that. And we can start that by ensuring that, again, the companies are brought to heel. We can make sure that, again, like PG&E, which doesn't pay attention to its power lines that burn up our forests, they're brought to heel. We need to set ourselves as a model that these big companies are not the ones calling the shots anymore. And once we get to that point of just like our government, our California government actually is trying to make sure that we're hitting certain environmental goals and actually making sure that our the lives of people's health is the priority instead of the opposite, which is the current system, that's how we can be a model for the planet.
Sean, so if someone wants to get involved with the California National Party, where can they go? You got any events coming up? What can they do?
Well, we have a convention that's going to be coming up in August, and that's going to be in Long Beach. The specific date is yet to be set just because, again, we're just trying to schedule out for everyone. But if you want to get more involved with the California National Party, just go to californianational.party, and you can find that on Google.
Thank you again for coming on today. I'm looking forward to future appearances with you and updates with the California. Once again, people, this is Sean Forbes with the California National Party. Check out the website. I'm sure Hal's going to put it down below there, and he'll probably announce it at the end of the show. That's all we got for you tonight. Hal, back to you, man.
Thank you, Shankar. That was Activism in Action with an interview with California National Party Southern California Coordinator Sean Forbes. For more information on the California National Party, please go to their website at californianational.party. That's californianational.party. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Just enter California National Party in your searches. For our final segment of our 41st Red Star Report podcast, I'm going to exercise some executive privilege. Time for talking points. Tonight on Talking Points, it seems we as Californians need to address both the elephant and the donkey in the room, and the fact that neither of these national parties in the two-party American system are really addressing the needs, values, and complexities of our California nation-state. The recent absolute failure of Democrats and Republicans in the state assembly to even call a vote on California's latest universal health care legislation, even though 70% of Californians basically favor the idea, just being one of hundreds of examples. If I were feeling charitable to the Republicans and Democrats, it would be easy to dismiss their shortcomings for Californians as necessary evils in the name of American greater national interests. But fuck that. If American interests were all that great, there wouldn't be a California independence movement, now would there? This is Red Star Report. And I know this may shock you, but we're not fair, balanced, or unbiased when it comes to Californians, or California values, and especially California independence. I mean, surprise, Red Star Report is the media group for the California independence movement, right? And we support the California National Party, or CNP, whose origins grew out of the California independence movement back in 2015. Since then, the CNP has worked very hard to create a platform of solutions and establish itself as a legitimate, big-tent, California-based alternative to the national parties that plague California. A platform for California that can at least start to address many of the California issues that America's divisive, corrupt, and constitutionally broken political system has never and will never be able to do anything to fix. As opposed to solid CNP effort, to the point where CNP chairman and gubernatorial candidate Michael Loebs received 26,000 votes in the recent California recall election. And now California National Party candidates like Carlos Ovalle, see Red Star Report podcast number 39, are beginning to run for local office. Honestly, too much going on for a 5-minute podcast segment, so I encourage you to check out the CNP and their platform for yourselves at californianational.party. There's a link already posted below, by the way. But for tonight, I'd like to highlight one point that we at Red Star Report would like you to consider. Talking point. The CNP is a party for and about California and Californians. From our nation-state's challenges to our county and local issues. And unlike the Republicans, Democrats, Greens, Libertarians, whatever, people in the CNP and the people running for office on the California National Party ticket, by default, have no American national agenda because the party doesn't exist outside of California. No ties to the American corporate donor class. No need to appease voting blocs in the lesser states. No using public office in California as a stepping stone to the power, fame, and greed of America's federal government circus. And no selling out the 40 million Californians for the desires and power and fame and greed of that American federal government circus. The focus of the California National Party candidate can be on just doing a good job. CNP can take on issues like climate change, guns, policing, individual rights, immigration, and the future of California's relationship to the U.S. here in California, with a reasonable chance to succeed where the U.S. federal government has a track record filled with nothing but failure. A California political party focused on California politics as public service to Californians. You would think for Californians, this wouldn't be a big lift, but maybe it's too simple, too optimistic for Californians living all their lives under the American system of privilege, failure, and corruption to envision. But in the end, we are Red Star Report. This is the California Independence Movement. And the California National Party is the party of Californians for California. And we all know that doing the right thing for 40 million Californians is worth a big lift. So how's about you? This is Talking Points. That's Red Star Report for the week of 4/12/22. Please check out our website at www.redstarreport.com. And while you're there, you can subscribe to receive our new newsletter, Red Star Review, which will begin publication shortly. Or you can click on the Red Star Review link down in the doobly-doo. Yeah, I said it. Subscribe to our Red Star Report YouTube channel. Please do subscribe because, we need you. Go to our Red Star Report Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram. Give us a like and follow because if you want a real California Independence Movement media group, it's all about the algorithms. Please go and check out the California National Party at californianational.party. Again, californianational.party. And our thanks, as always, to you, all our Red Star Rebels, for watching. We will see you next week. And we are Red Star Report.